Hey guys, it is day 11. Day 11, August 28th, Wednesday. Happy Wednesday. Happy Wellness Wednesday. So, today's live is titled Complain or Take Action. Complain or Take Action. So, this live is gonna be technically is gonna be like a two-part, but the other video you won't see it as like a part one and a part two, but I'm gonna record the part two of it tomorrow and then link it in the description, because you will definitely want to hear the part two. So yeah, complaining or taking action. Here we are doing this Daniel fast, right? Well, not Daniel fast, Daniel consecration. Still trying to get that in my head, get that in my brain, and say it correctly. And one of the things is when we are called to change the way that we eat, right? And obviously, this can apply to so many other things. But when we are called to change the way we eat, what is the first thing that people do? They complain. They want to complain. And so you can complain all you want. Complain all you want. But you still need to do that thing if you want to be healed. And let's be real, there's a lot of people praying for healing. Uh, for so many reasons. But all right, so when it comes to our health, right? We know the internet says all of these things, and it can be very overwhelming. They're poisoning the air, they're poisoning the food, they're poisoning the clothes because the fabrics have toxins in them, right? They're poisoning the water. It's like all the main stuff that we need to actually thrive and survive, they have corrupted. And when I say they, I mean the powers that be, if that's what we're going to call them, the powers that be, right? But it's like these crises, how are we responding to it? Are we just going to complain all the time and be like, oh my gosh, they keep doing this. Oh my gosh, they doing that. Oh my gosh, now I can't eat this. Oh my gosh, I can't eat that. Are you going to complain about it or are you going to pivot, okay, and take action on how you need to move? Um, and so I was like, you know what does that actually mean? I was curious to see what it actually means to complain. And it means to express grief, pain, or discontent. This is the English. To make a formal accusation or charge, to express dissatisfaction, pain, or resentment, usually tiresomely, like whining, basically. And so, one verse that stood out to me when it comes to complaining is Psalms 106, 24 through 25. And it's interesting because when you read that chapter, it just talks about how, Israel's journey through the promised land and, with Moses and Aaron and how Yah showed up for them, their posture in the process. And so it says, verse 24 and 25 says, yeah, they despised the pleasant land. And pleasant land is meaning the promised land. They believed not his word, but murmured in their tents and hearkened not unto the voice of the Lord. And I was like, huh, that's interesting. Um, and so when you look into, and you'll see why, I'm going to explain why that was interesting, because this literally applies to a heart posture when it comes to being obedient to how he's calling us to eat. But okay, so the first part, right? They despise the pleasant land. Despise means in Hebrew to dissolve. And in Hebrew, things are described by its function. To make something to make something dissolve away. Also, to dissolve something through refusal. So, like despising it, rejecting it, abhorring it, right? Then, and they believe not his word. That's pretty obvious. They didn't believe him. The next part, right? But murmured in their tents. So then I'm like, murmur. Okay. That means to whisper, backbite, and slander. Basically, they were complaining against the actions of Yah. And then hearken not unto the voice of the Lord. So hearken means to hear. And um, you're welcome. One of the things when it comes to hearing, we always love to say, we always love to repeat that verse. I can't even think of it off the top of my head. For those who have the ears to hear, let them hear. Like, but hearing is not just listening to something, it's not just taking it in, but it actually means to respond, to actually respond to that thing, right? So it's actually funny because the title, you're going to complain or take action, you know? And one of the things is when it comes to changing your eating lifestyle, okay, say for example, somebody, I don't know, let's just say somebody's diabetic, right? And they got to change the different, they have to change their diet because the things they're eating is totally jacking them up, okay? And, you know, they're praying about it. And Yah is like, go plant based. We're gonna use the most simple example. Yah says go plant based. And they got two choices, right? They can say, you know what? I do want to receive my healing. Here's the answer. So that way I can reverse the diabetes. So Yah can heal me from the diabetes. Or a person can murmur and complain at the fact that they had to change their diet and do all of the things and reject it, therefore not accepting their healing. You got two choices, right? So are you despising when Yah calls you to change your diet? Are you murmuring and complaining about it? Are you believing not his word? He's answering your prayer. So basically, what is Yah telling you to do in this season of your life? What's he telling you to do? And honestly, these principles can literally apply to any area of your life because, again, every area of your life is your health, it is your wellness. You want to live well. So, if you are murmuring at the fact that you have to change your diet, if you are murmuring at the fact that you have to stop eating things, and seriously, um, letting go of whatever foods you're called to let go of, like, you got to fix your heart posture against that. Like, you got to repent for that. You really, really, really have to have to repent because that means your heart is not in the right place because you're constantly complaining and murmuring. So what if I told you that there is safety in obedience? I truly believe that well, there is safety in our obedience. That's why Yah has the commandments. It's not to restrict us, it's actually to keep us safe. So if we are being obedient to the way that Yah is calling us to eat, specifically because it can look similar across the board, but it can be some things can be tailored individual to us based off of the different things that we have to get healed from. So if you are being obedient to that, you don't have to like, I don't know, you don't necessarily have to go crazy about all the changes. Well, all the things that I mentioned before, like the air quality, them poisoning us through the air with all the chemtrails, the different water. Because you can literally go crazy, like, oh my gosh, well, what am I supposed to drink? Oh, well, what am I supposed to buy my food at? Because they're poisoning, they're doing this and doing that. Now still be wise and intentional with those things, but don't drive yourself crazy either, because everybody has different finances and different living situations. So what you have access to, somebody might not. But if you are being obedient to what he told you to do, you will be okay. You will basically be okay. I truly do believe that, because let's be real, none of us can get rid of the poison. The all the stuff that they're doing, we can't run away from it. It'd be nice to, but we can't. So, what is Yah? Think about it. Like, why is he shifting the way you need to eat? Is it because of disease? Is it sickness? Is it drowsiness? Are you tired all the time? Are you angry and moody all the time? Are you sad? Are you depressed? Are you confused, double minded? Like, you can't think straight. Do you know that your diet can actually help fix these things? I heard someone say before that our diet is connected to our destiny, and I truly believe that, because I know when my diet, when I started, well, I've been plant based for a few years now, but when I started eating more raw foods, it totally changed my clarity, and I feel like because what it did is it killed my flesh more, and so just receiving his healing and deliverance was way easier. Way easier. I don't think I would have gotten this far that fast if I didn't follow that leading, which I say all the time. I fell into the raw plant based way of eating. Now I'm not 100%, so don't get. I'm not 100%. Um, but I got into that just by, it just happened by accident. I went like, I don't know how many. Um, it was a good amount of weeks, and I would probably have like 2 cooked meals in a week, maybe 3 cooked meals in a week, and the change was just mind blowing. And then my certification that I'm doing, it actually advocates for the raw plant based diet. So I've been learning a lot into that as well, and I'm like, wow, like it's amazing. It's really really amazing. So yeah, the more you work at killing your flesh, the more those demons are irritated and can't stay. Basically, because how you eat now is all willy nilly, right? Your life is the same, but when you change the way that you're eating, you're going to elevate it to a higher level, because your flesh is going to die. Is going to die. So those some of them spirits, they're not gonna be able to stay there. And I'm an advocate for fasting. Like I can't even think of the verse right now. Google it, but it's in Matthew. Only this kind come out through prayer and fasting. Some versions actually took that verse out, which I find ridiculous. Um, but yeah, because let's be real, like food and drink has a lot of people in chokehold, like a complete chokehold. Like the addiction is real, because that's what it basically is. It's an addiction. Because if it wasn't a addiction, you wouldn't have an issue changing the way that you eat. So, how do you so if you want to be obedient, how do you respond? Obviously, you just listen, right? and do it. But there are 10 things that you would literally just want to incorporate in your everyday life, and they're called the 10 energy enhancers. Okay. Um, I'm going to share the 10, but I'm going to do a separate video because I don't want this video to get too long. Actually, I probably could have combined it, but I'm just going to do a separate video, and it's going to be called the 10 energy enhancers. And what I'm going to do is they're going to be more in detail to really know, to really understand and know how to walk it out. So basically, you want the 10 energy enhancers is cleanliness, internal cleanliness, and external. Okay. Pure water, pure air, adequate rest and sleep, the ideal diet, Genesis 129, adequate sunshine and natural light, right temperatures, regular exercise, emotional balance, freedom from addictions, and nurturing relationships. Those are the 10 energy enhancers. And again, I'm going to do a separate video to go into detail because each one you gotta break that down so that way you can really understand it and know how to apply that to your life. So that's what I got on for y'all today. So I just encourage you to meditate on Psalms 106, 24 through 25. And yeah, that's all I got. That is all I got. Thank you for joining. And I hope y'all have a great night. And I shall talk to y'all mañana.